Hi, my beautiful brothers and sisters. This is Mary Hernandez with Genesis Kingdom, Part 2. Blood diamonds. Why did I pick blood diamonds? And I know I talked to you at the first one when I didn't, because we were all diamonds. We were all diamonds in our mother, the Creator, our mother God. We're all diamonds. We were just stained with blood because we were in a blood covenant with Satan. And the washing and the word of the Bible coming in a water baptismal brings you back in a relationship with our mother that she felt forgotten. And all she asked is the 10 Commandments, no other idols. And I know earlier, let me do a little bit of correction about what I meant about the cross. It's wood made. That's what I mean. Anything that is wood made. Like I use as an example, this. And say this happens to be a cross, and I put it right here, and I am like, she is not in this cross. You're making that an idol. You're paying to something that's dead. That's all it means. Yes, it's a symbol that, churches have, and that's a beautiful symbol. I'm not saying that it isn't, but if we're praying to it, then it's almost like we're making that an idol where she's not in there. That's what it means. And let me do a correction. As I continue giving you the revelation that Jesus was made up by the Catholic Romans, the Roman Catholics. So that's an idol. Praying to a Mary, a Virgin Mary, that's an idol. Jesus monument, that's an idol. Any saints, that's idols because they call them. And the perfect example today is because I met one of the saints that the Catholic Church calls Saint Michael, the Archangel. No, he's a demonic. I've seen him out there, and it's him, and that's who they idolize. That's just to give you an example what it is and how they make saints. I think they made Mother Cabrini. I thought it was just a church. Well, they made her a saint. That's an idol. That's what it means by it. Then you got the ungodly, pagan adultery things that they have idolized. They idolize. All the stuff is pagan. Pagan things. That's what you do. What I do right here, I drop to my knees. Even downstairs in my little room that I have in the closet, I drop to my knees right there and I pray. Such as I have, music that I play of God, of the Creator, and I know it's just the renewal of your mind. This is what's going to save you and bring you back in a covenant with our Creator. And as well as the one that everybody calls this world, Adam, and I know some of you see him out there. He got sentenced to hell, and that's in Luke 3, where you see the genealogy, where they added the New Testament, where it was Jesus, and then you go down, Luke 3. Half of that, I don't know exactly. Let me go ahead so I could direct you so you can know exactly what I mean. And it's Luke 3. Holy moly. Past it. Luke 3. And you just go, I think it's 23 if I'm correct. Yes. You could even start in 21 as you go starting, and it lets you know that Jesus himself began about 30 years of age is actually 23. So Luke 3:23. Jesus himself began at age about 33, being and supposed, as was supposed the son of Joseph, as was the son of Heli. He's a Hellenist. And it starts with the genealogy from there down. You get all the way to the bottom, which the son of Enos, which the son of Seth, the son of Adam, which was the son of God. And at the very bottom is not, because remember, he got sentenced to hell. He died because he ate from the forbidden tree. So he was with the God of the underworld. So that's it. The genealogy from there is what went. That's for you to get it. Until you the Holy Spirit that day, I wasn't going to read it. I wasn't. I was all like, I already read it. I already know the genealogy. Holy Spirit said, no, read it. And I was like, okay, I'll read it. I was like, I read it. And then when I got it, I was like, oh my God. I go, that's why she wanted me to say it. That's when they called the Hellenist, the grandfather is the Hellenist. And that's when they call Eli, E-L-I, Eli. but he's a Hellenist. The Hellenists were the ones that wrote the Second Testament, which Greek, Grecians, Satan people, it's all in there. And in that Second Testament, you got our Creator, our real Creator, Mother God, and then you got the creature, the ungodly creature that they call God. They're not their creatures, ungodly creatures that are also talking. So it's just like I read to you, the enigma means that it's a puzzle that you would have to, it's impossible. They said it's impossible for you to figure out unless you sit there and you do that. You should really watch Da Vinci Code and then get some of it. Some of the words when he's saying about sermon, the Madonna, who the Da Vinci Codes, he was a Renaissance man. And I was studying it, and a lot of them are in the Bible, but when you're not seeing it, you're not reading it, you don't have the eyes to see, the ears to hear. And this is really just to open your eyes that there's more to the Bible than what we were just being taught, So anyways, with that being said, we're going to start off with Romans 7:4. I think I did read that. So my brothers and sisters who died in the law. I did. So it's actually going to be Proverbs 31, 22 to 23. Sorry about that. I thought I had it open. Okay. Proverbs 31. Oh, I did have it there. So in Proverbs 31, 22, and 23. It says, she is not afraid. She is not afraid of the snow, for her household, and for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself covering tapestry, and her clothing is silk and purple. And then it says, her husband is known in the gates, when he sitteth among the elders of the land, that she maketh fine linen, and selleth and delivereth the girdles of the merchant. And then it brings me to, I apologize. I thought I had it. It said I go to open it and it's like every page is closing. That's not closing, it's by me because I'm touching it, nothing crazy. And then it brings me to Zechariah 1:30. And this is what will bring you from a blood diamond into the diamond that you always were. So you're covered in blood. You're the diamond. You're the diamond. You're not even a diamond in the rough. You're a diamond full throttle. That we just got lost in the world. We've been in slavery for so long that we got tainted by the lies of the world, by the dogma. We were eating the cupcake of the dogma, that the doctrines, a false doctrine, that man. And a lot of people know this. And it's sad because a lot of religious leaders know that. And they're going to be taking a lot of people to hell with them because they decide not to preach the truth. But this is where Mother put her daughters in to preach the truth to you, to tell you the truth. So it delivers you. It delivers your children. It delivers your family. It delivers this world from the bondage of a blood covenant that we were in with Satan. And this washes you clean. She's a water covenant, a water baptismal, the 10 Commandments. And it's like a lot of people are denying that, I see a revival, don't get me wrong. I see a huge revival, which is amazing. So the water has the power to purify, to provide deliverance, that it could also destroy evil enemies that are in the stories of the flood in Genesis 6:17, and also the flight of Israel from Egypt. She took us out and then to take us out again because we were all delivered. I was delivered. I was out there in the darkness, but you wake up. This is really to wake you up, not for me, but for our mother that sent her sons and daughters that have died for the cause, the real daughters and sons that have come out, to preach the truth and have died for the cause. And they did take it to the cross. When she said, take up that cross and walk, you're going to be afflicted. You're going to be everything that's going to come against you because you're preaching me. You're preaching me. Everybody else that runs around in the group, the real people that were preaching the truth weren't riding with a lot of people. You were hated. We were spit at. We were called everything under the sun. We didn't even have another person next to us. We didn't even have our spouse or our children next to us out there praying. We were out there solo. Those were the ones that were afflicted. Those were the ones that were called outcasts. Those are the ones that were called misfits. They didn't have a group of people following them, but they had a lot of group of people that were hearing the word and a lot of people that were getting deliverance. We weren't out there going out there to make our famous, our face famous. We were out there really going out there, town to town, preaching deliverance and liberty, and what she was asking for, to save souls, because that's what we got chosen to do. We had to go after the lost one the same way I was lost, but I was found. So anyways, it brings me to Zechariah 3. Zechariah 1-3. In the 8th month of the 2nd year of Darius was the word of the Lord that came to the prophet Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo. The Lord was very angry with your ancestors. Therefore tell the people, but this is what the Lord Almighty says. Return to me, declares the Lord Almighty, and I will return to you, the Lord Almighty. Do not be like your ancestors whom earlier prophets can proclaim that what the Lord Almighty says, but they turn from your evil ways and your evil practice, the false doctrine, people, but they would not hear or pay attention to me, declares the Lord. Where are your ancestors now? And the prophets, where do they live forever? This is it says, but did my words and my decrees, which I command my servants, the prophets, to overtake your ancestors, they repented, and the Lord said Almighty. It says, then they repented, and the Lord Almighty had done to us in a way of practice to deserve, just as we are determined to do, And this is her, again, always pleading to us. And this whole Bible, if you really think about it, it's her lamentation. Our mother lamentation to her daughters, to the ones that were out there. The ones that were being prosecuted, laughed at, spit at, you name it, being attacked, somebody planning the next kill on you, you name it. Those were the ones that were out there preaching the truth, not the ones that were running around with a bunch of people that were hanging out and still getting high out there. That was the whole thing, to be example, that we could be saved, that we got saved. She saved me from my addiction. She saved me from my addiction. I was out there, a filthy sinner with filthy rags, that didn't deserve a chance, but yet she had it. She gave it to me, and I took it, and I ran with it. I don't care what people say. Oh, she's bougie. She thinks she's too good. First, I was out there. Yes. Now I'm bougie. Now I'm that. You know what? It wasn't that I thought I was better than anybody, but I came from an addiction world out there, and that's what I seen out there. So when I get asked, hey, you could come and chill with us and sit, I wasn't saying no because I thought it was too good. I was saying no because I didn't want to fall back and being around the addiction that I used to be around. I separated myself from that because I'm still, I'm not getting comfortable and being like, well, she healed me, that's it. I still have to change my ways. I still have to not go around the things that is going to make me fall back into sin, back into my addiction. Do I still talk to them? Absolutely. Did I pray over them? Absolutely. I didn't say, well, I'm not going to. I think I'm too good because I was saved. No, I did. I prayed over you, and I continue doing it. It's putting your guard up, knowing what's going to set you up to fail. Why would you do that? Yes, a lot of us were separated from the whole world, but there was a reason. The Bible also tells you that. So you don't eat the doctrine, the false lies that they have out there to say. That's why, because some people weren't ready to let go of that life, and some people that were willing, we were secluded. We were separated. So now it brings me to Hosea 6:1-11. And this is in little parentheses or something you want to say. It says Israel unrepented. Hosea 6:1. Oh, 6. Yeah, 6:1. It says, "Come and let us return to the Lord, that he has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds. 2 days he will revive us. On the third day he will restore us, that we may live in his presence. Let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on the acknowledge of him. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear, and he will come to us like the winter rains, and like the spring rains and the water on earth, the water of the earth." And water with the water baptismal is bringing it back because it was a dry land. It was a bloody, dry land. Nobody was seeking her. Nobody wanted to do the 10 Commandments. Everybody wanted to do what they wanted to do. And they were rejecting God's mercy, the 10 Commandments. That's all she was asking for. She wasn't asking, when she was sending her daughters to say, here's the 10 Commandments, she wasn't asking for a hand in marriage to the Lord in the 10 Commandments. Yes. That's a covenant, It says, as surely as the sun rises, he will appear, but he will come to us like winter rains, like spring rains that waters the earth. It says, what can I do with you, Ephraim? What can I do with you, Judah? Your love is like the morning mist and the early dew, and disappears. Before I cut you in pieces with my prophet, before I cut you to pieces in my prophet, I killed you with the words of my mouth, and my judgments go forth like the sun. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. I acknowledge the God rather than burnt offerings. As at Adam, they have broken the covenant. They were unfaithful to me there. Gilead, the city of evildoers, straying from the footprints of blood. The murderers lie in ambush for a victim. It says, so bands of priests they murdered on the road to Shechem, carrying out their wicked schemes. I have seen horrible things in Israel, and in Abraham, and Ephraim is given to prostitution. Israel is defiled. Also for you, Judah, a harvest is appointed, whenever I restore my fortunes to my people. Whenever I would heal Israel, and sins from Ephraim are exposed, the crimes of Samaria revealed, the practices see, thieves break into houses, bandits rob the streets, and they do not realize that I remember all their evil deeds. The sin of their sins engulf them, and they are always before me. They delight in the king and their wickedness, the prince of lies. There are adulterers burning like an oven, whose fire baker needed not stir. The kneading of the dough is like the rise, and the day of the festival of our king. The prince become inflamed with wine, and he joins the hands of the mockers. Their hearts are like the oven. They approach him with intrigue. Their passion smolders all night. In the morning it's ablaze like a flaming fire. And of them that is hot as oven. It says they devour the rulers and the kings fall, but none of them calls on me. Ephraim mixes with nations. Ephraim floats the loaf and turn over. Foreigners sap and strain, but he does not realize that his hair is sprinkled with gray, and he does not notice Israel organs testify against him. But despite all this, he does not return to the Lord, his God, and search for him. Ephraim is like a dove, easily deceived and senseless, and now calling to Egypt, turning to Assyria. When they go, I will throw my net over them. I put down like the birds in the sky, and I hear my flocking together. I catch them, and woe to them because they have strayed away from me. Destruction to them because they have rebelled against me. I long to redeem them, but they speak about me falsely. Do not cry unto me from their hearts, but wail in their beds, and they slash themselves, appealing to other gods. This is for grain and new wine, but they turn away from me. I train them and straighten their arms, but they plot evil against me. They do not turn from the Most High. They do not turn to the Most High, but they are like faulty bow. Their leaders will fall by sword, but because of their insolent words. for they will ridicule the land of Egypt. And that was also Hosea 7, and it is 1 through 16. I thought it was very beautiful, and I thought I'll share that with you. So I'm going to close it up with the Ecclesiastes 9:8. And it's very beautiful too. And just to know that's all she wants for you. You know? And sometimes, you know, we're praying to her. And like I prayed to her from the very beginning, even when I didn't understand, you know. I was just dropped to the knees and I was all like, man, I don't know what's going on, Mother. I said, I know you want me out here, but I didn't know what it was, you know. It's a fear. And then she did send people and we just ignore it, you know. And we're sitting there and we're just like, we think we're too good, you know. But I'm so sorry, I thought I found it by now. It's going too fast. So it's 9:8. And I'm going to close it up, as you said. It says, let thy garments be always white, and let the head lack not no anointment. Do not let the oil run out. You know, and you know what that means, right? You know, like it talks about the lamp. Once you live that sinful world, she breathes the life back into you. And I had to learn this because I didn't know that when they said, don't let the oil run out. Remember how it talks about the 10 virgins, and I think only 5 end up going back to the beast system. But it also talks about the oil, meaning you lose that oil, you lose that light when you're sinning, you know. And it tells you how about some of them when they ran out of oil, but they went to go buy some oil, you know, to get back. But then, you know, that opportunity came and that door was shut, you know. And what I know for a fact that oil is the light that burns is in us. You're anointed. If you sin, you lose that light. But you're the light in the darkness. I'm that light in the darkness. And it's you to show off your light and show the ways of the Lord. But also be yourself, but no sin. We're in the world, but not of the world. We're in the image of our mother. So we're not going to act like the world. Then the people are going to be like, dang, you might as well look up to the evil people that are up there, you know, selling themselves, you know, to Satan and have become famous. Like, you know, Satan offers them that. And you see a lot of people that said, yeah, I sold my soul to Satan. Not all, but you see a lot of them that have. You know, you see the ones that stand with mockers. You know, we needed to get healed. So we're example in the image of our mother. And she took us out of the darkness and into her glorious light. She washed me from that blood covenant. I was eating that dogma. I was eating that. I was raised that way. I had to learn the Bible to get to the truth so I could preach to you and deliver you. And then maybe you can make a difference and speak to somebody else. You know, do we have a king that's going to be on the side of us? Yes. But he's also out there in blood diamond, that he's worth more than that. So she's going to wash him clean to bring him back, because you can't serve two gods. You can't be serving Satan, and then you can't serve Mammon and then serve the Creator. You can't be hot or cold. It's either you're in or not. If you're lukewarm, she said, I will spew you out. You will lose your anointing. You will lose her light. And she will wash you and cleanse and clothe you with purple garment. For God's sake, you're royalty. You get the fake ones that are out there all in national TV sporting out something that they're not, and you, that you really are royalty blood. You're settling. You're settling. Why would you do that? And this is the awakening for you. I had to become that example, that if she did me from filthy rags and brought me into her glorious light and has clothed me with her purple garment and has washed me cleansed by the water of baptismal, and I'm not drinking that dogma, and it took a lot to get me to say, that they had made all that up. That was a made up story about Jesus. They just did that a revival and made it an idol. There was no proof ever of that. They just made that up and called somebody that did. And they said, yeah, the fallen star, when you seen the star, that was Lucifer that said, I'm going to be on the throne. And he said that. So how is it that the Roman Catholics were going to revive him? By saying, here's the kid that was born in the manger, and this is his resurrection. He has come back. We were all filthy rags. We were all blood diamonds. We were diamonds all along. We just got washed in the dogma of the world, that we've been lost souls for such a long time that we forgot the maker. And they pushed her out pretty good. We're her daughters. You know, we're the first ones that hold the birthrights. And yes, we have a beautiful husband that's going to be on the side of us. But we have to finish our course. If you're waiting for that man to come and deliver you, it's never going to happen. You needed to free yourself. You needed to know who you are and walk as a Proverbs 31 woman. Walk as a woman that it is royalty, because you are. You're not faking, honey. You are royalty. You get the fakers that are out there all over national TV that people think they are. The proof is coming. Just stand still. Do not sin. Fight for your soul, because it's fighting for you to stay in hell, for you not to walk into your inheritance, for you not to walk into states and cities and vineyards that belong to you and your children. All Israel's kids and all of Abraham's kids. That who she has come for. And she's going to heal the whole blemish for the beautiful brothers and sisters that are still hanging in there. We're going to break that generational curse that started from Genesis until Revelation. And that Bible verse that said, man, nothing has changed. Everything's been the same. They've been asleep the way their parents were from the beginning of Genesis until now Revelation time. But they thought so. We were taking territory as we're going. My mother was doing it. And getting back deed sign for you. But you need to walk in it too. You need to sit there. She's given back everything that was stolen from you, from your ancestors from day one. And we're going to get us suddenly. Just like we had nothing, they left us without nothing. We're not. She's getting taken back what always belonged to you, what always belonged to her children. And a healed land for this world that they deserve much better than what they thought they were going to do, a new world order. We're not going to be part of that. But you need to renew your mind. You need to leave the things of the world. And I'm going to say it again, perfect example, that countryman. He gave up that fame. He gave up all that, and he said, man, I have to serve mine. He said, I'm not going to go start my church. You know, he's not asking you to. But he said, man, I'm going to support this church that I go to. He turned a loss in his life, and I turned losses in my life, but made something positive out of it. And I'm going to give my mother that victory that she deserves. I'm doing it for her so you could see that she's real. She's taking care of my kids, because that's the only thing that I ask for. I said, take care of my kids while I walk with you, and you put me whatever it is that I have to go through, I have to do for you. I will do it because I want you to see that she is real. And that's why they try to shut the witnesses. When she said, pick up that cross and walk, Mary, I walked it. And yes, even though I got pushed to the corner and I was by myself, I didn't have a clan running after me. But I had people that didn't bow down to the Baal system. There are people that are still hanging on. And yes, there's nights that it is hard. So it's like the one that says, crieth. It says, yeah, kind of like crieth in the night, but joyeth cometh in the morning. You know, we have we have to keep going. If we stop believing and having faith and trust and hope every day, they win. And we're talking about the evil, the darkness, the wickedness that kills, steal, and destroy. I'm not going to give them the victory. I'm going to give my mom the victory. So I'm going to have many more days with my family, my children. I'm going to be able to see my grandbabies. It's forever after, and it's all the way up. All the way up. I hit my rock bottom is all the way up. Like that song, started from the bottom, now we're here. But she brought me down, and I said this again, and I will say it again. I hit it. But it's all the way up for now. And so it is for you, and so it is for this world. You see it tore down, but it's only time to restore, rebuild. It's all the way up. Be a part of the new heaven, the new earth. Welcome, fellow citizens of the new heaven and new earth. Continue going and running your race. Do not give up. Do not give in to things of the world. That's a pathway to hell. That's a blood covenant. come into a water covenant with my mother. 10 Commandments, Exodus 20. Have an amazing Monday. God bless you all.